Jesus Christ was born today. Jesus Christ was born.
Actually, this is a celebration of the anniversary of his death, but you get the picture. Oh, bruises. Sweet, I'm getting my bruises back. Nice. And yay, they did rejoice. Today's Good Friday, traditionally the quote-unquote celebration. It's hard to, I guess nowadays we can see it in hindsight as a celebration. It's hard to look at it as a celebration. The brutal recorded death of God made flesh, of the Word made flesh, and the brutal death in sacrifice. I've been reading a lot of Leviticus lately, man, and everything requires a sacrifice. And the burden of sin on mankind was so great that it required the ultimate sacrifice of a holy, anointed man/God. That part will always be tricky to fully comprehend, the man-God part. Fully God, fully man. But such overwhelming, towering innocence was required in recompense for our sin. But now it can be a celebration because of what his suffering, what his death unlocked. It unlocked the temple of God, and it unlocked the gates of heaven. Hence, Good Friday. On that day, it was not good for the man Jesus. Even as he moved in obedience, it was not fun. But what his resurrected body attested to, Philippians 3:21, who, by the power that enables him to bring everything under his control, will transform our lowly bodies so that they will be like his glorious body. He returned, died, and rose again. He'd already conquered death in miraculous form, raising of a dead man, Lazarus. But he himself triumphed over death, both literally and figuratively too, in a way, in that sin is part and parcel to our nature of entropy, our nature of the laws of physics, and the laws of time and groaning, that indeed our spirit groans for God, that we groan for truth, and yet so often we reject it. And even our the world falling to pieces groans for salvation. They say that all of creation groans as though in childbirth for the return of a sanctified world, of a healed world. And Christ's sacrifice was the covenant that set the healing of all things in motion. And indeed, even our bodies. I was just at the gym this morning with my beloved, and we were talking to a friend of ours, Jeff Bowser, and talking about stretches and aches and pains, and this connects to this, gives you back problems, gives you knee problems, gives you blah, blah, blah. Our very bodies are groaning. And we often complain about it, don't we? Isn't that like a pretty popular thing to say? Oh, it's just not right. It's unfair. You get older and things fall apart. And then the pragmatists are like, well, that's just how it is. And indeed, that's just how it is. But let us not ignore our instinctual groaning that this is wrong. When you gaze upon the first dead body I ever saw was an 8-year-old boy named Corey. And to look upon it, it just seems wrong, doesn't it? Doesn't a dead body just seem something's out of place. Something's out of whack. It's perfectly natural. Happens all the time. It just happened, I'm sure, multiple times. Maybe hundreds of times in the space of me just recording this video. But death and brokenness and groaning, they are symbols. Let us not miss these glaring signposts that we are a broken and fallen and entropic thing. And why does that feel wrong? Because it is wrong. because we're wrong. Sin is wrong. Working out our lives in opposition to the commandments of the Most High is wrong. Dwelling in sin is wrong. And what Christ died and rose again for was to deliver us from that already. So indeed we can rehearse for eternity. We don't have to wait until eternity to begin to attain perfection. I know it seems weird to begin to attain perfection. It seems contradictory. And in some ways it is. But God does not obey the laws of physics as we do. He is above them. Incredibly unfair all this is. In some ways, yes, it's wrong. It is broken. And we are broken. And we are continually broken. And we cling to our brokenness. But let his sacrifice not be in vain. Brothers and sisters. Let him move in you in all the ways, that you might be with him always. Not bad, right? Amen. Selah.